Well, the length of federal election campaigns are usually designed by sitting prime ministers to fit their political strategies. It's a bit like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, you might say. India's got a 2-week campaign, which is way too short to communicate properly or discern the policies that you hear about. In 2016, you'll remember Malcolm Turnbull chose a marathon 10-week campaign, 10 weeks of Malcolm, which is way too long for anyone but the media, who, of course, we revel in this sort of stuff. But then again, Malcolm clocked off every day at lunchtime, if you recall. So it was 10:30, effectively a 5-week campaign. But this year, Scott Morrison has taken us to what is arguably the Goldilocks sweet spot of 6 weeks. However, at the halfway mark of the campaign this weekend, social media tracking shows Australians are losing interest in the campaign already. Not, political hounds and hardheads like you or I, but those who use social media. Media intelligence company Melt Power, they made a comparison of news and social media engagement, and there's been a 29% drop in election discussion. Now, I think the first week of the campaign, Anthony Albanese's horribilis septimana, a bad first week, told the electorate all they needed to know about his suitability for the economic part of that job. He's not suited. If he gets there, he will need some considerable behind-the-scenes help. He just can't handle the heat, even in front of a media pack, which is why COVID was such a godsend for Albo in week 3. The polls still tell us that if you just run away from the aggressive political pack, play the small target as he has done, you can keep your nose clean and maybe even win government. He had the backslapping and traditional launch today in Perth, which, as I've mentioned, is not contested and is just a campaign free kick. Week 3, just gone, has been a difficult week for the government as well, because the coalition is being blamed by some quarters for the high cost of living, whereas the truth is there are huge international pressures on supply chains, material costs, and, of course, petrol, which make up a significant chunk of what leads to rises in inflation. And it will be different next time round, but we won't get that until the next quarter results come through, which is after the election. And that will be the impact of a cut in excise on fuel instigated by the Treasurer, which is why they all came up with the PBS policy, a $150 million annual discount from the coalition on medicine prices, which was predictably copied by Labor today with a $2.50 added bonus. But to blame the government for what will happen this Tuesday, the rise in interest rates from the spike in inflation during the week, doesn't put the full story into context. Don't buy it. The economy is firing up, it's coming back, and it will need tempering. But it's better than the alternative. Australians have had 12 years of downward pressure on interest rates. The last time we raised a rate was, I think, November 2010. That's plenty of time to get our own household books in order, and it's also a reason to celebrate, not fret. Morrison is still well behind in the polls. He's made it competitive, or maybe Anthony Albanese has made it competitive. This week will be more crucial than any ahead of it, as Australians make up their minds prior to pre-polling taking effect. Labor has still got itself in an unlosable opportunity. It's Albanese's for the taking. But a week is a long time, etcetera, so hold on to your hats.